This is Erie County District Attorney John Flynn, and I'm speaking to you, the students, those who are perhaps graduating this year in this very untraditional setting that we're in. I want to first of all say to you that I know how difficult this has been on you. I actually have a high school student at home with me, my daughter. My daughter is a sophomore in high school, and while she's not graduating, she still pretty much has lost the better part of the second half of her sophomore year of high school. She's lost the friendships, she's lost the camaraderie, she's lost the being there in the school and interacting with friends and teachers. And that's a big deal. And for those of you who may be seniors who are graduating, the fact of the matter is that, you have lost the last 3 or 4 months of your senior year in high school. And I feel bad for you, but listen here, it is what it is. This is a time that we're living in. We all have to overcome challenges. We have to embrace new opportunities. So while it may not have gone the way you wanted to go, it may not have been the ending to your high school career that you wanted to have, you need to embrace it for what it is. And what it is that it's a new beginning for you. It's a time where you're now perhaps going off to college or going off to the military, going off to a apprenticeship program, going into a job, whatever it may be. It's a new beginning for you and a new chance for you to grow and become a mature and responsible adult. I know that when I made the decision, when I graduated college to join the military, that was probably the best decision that I ever made in my life. I graduated college. I then joined the Navy. I went to officer candidate school in the Navy. I became a naval officer, and I served for 28 years in the Navy, both active duty and reserve. My time in the Navy was the best time of my life, both active duty and in the reserve. And it was that commitment to service. It was that commitment to helping out society. And no greater role that I've had than the military has done that, quite frankly. And I've had a lot of public service positions in my life. I'm now the Erie County District Attorney. I've been the DA for the past 3 years now. This is a great job. This job that I'm in right now gives me the ability to perform an essential public service role to help out my community and to help out society. I've also been a judge. I've also been a councilman in Tonawanda. I've also been a town attorney for the town of Tonawanda. All of these public sector jobs that I've had have allowed me to serve my community. Now, I'll tell you this though, service doesn't have to be public service. There's a way to serve your community without being in government, without being an elected official. For those of you who want to do that, I strongly encourage it. But remember, service is not just public service. There's private service. There's ways that you can volunteer in your community to help the poor, to help the sick, to help the homeless, to help the young. There are many things that you can do and many ways that you can serve. So listen here, I want all of you to remember that an education is important. If there's a way to go to college, I encourage you to go to college. Now listen here, college isn't for everyone for a lot of reasons. And if you choose not to go to college, that's fine. Whatever you do though, remember, serve your community, help your community, contribute to your community. That's the best thing that you can do, not only in these times of the coronavirus, but in the time of upheaval that we're having right now in our society. And so I wish you all the best of luck. I thank you for all that you're gonna do in the future, because I know that each and every one of you has a way and has a commitment to helping our society. And again, in advance, I'm gonna thank you all, and I'm gonna wish you all the best of luck. God bless.
Hello everyone, Craig Hanna here, and I am pleased to take part in this celebration, and I'd like to thank Buffalo Strong for allowing me to address you here today. Presently, I am the Chief Judge of the Buffalo City Court and the Supervising Judge for the City Court surrounding the 8 counties of Western New York. I am quite surprised I'm in this position today because I never imagined I'll be addressing you as a judge. I'm pretty sure there's teachers and guidance counselors scratching their heads because I wasn't the best student, I wasn't the smartest, I wasn't the most articulate, but one thing I always did was work hard. So I'll tell you this, when you go around planning your life, the only thing I can tell you is to plan on being surprised. I got here by hard work and surrounding myself around good people. They say as iron sharpens iron, so too does men sharpen men. If you surround yourself around good people, you can glean knowledge and wisdom and understanding from them. So I encourage you to do that. I'm so encouraged because you guys are living in a very interesting and challenging time. You're dangling 2 crises at the same time. A global pandemic and an awakening of what our black and brown brothers and sisters have to endure in America and throughout the world. Because of which you're going to be well prepared for any and every obstacle in life that may come your way. But I'll give you 2 examples of what I need you to do. I need you to be a part of the change, and I need you to embrace failure. As former President Barack Obama says, the only way you change the future is to be a part of the change, and you got to make sure you're a part of it. As you see, there's a revolution going on, but don't be afraid of the word revolution. Revolution only really means change, and all people do is embrace change, so make sure you're ready for it. Gil Scott-Heron was wrong when he said the revolution will not be televised, because the revolution is being televised and happening right in front of our eyes. So I commit and I challenge you to be part of this revolution and to make sure some effective change come of it. Second, I have to be ready for you to tell you that you have to embrace failure, because if you try things in life, you may not succeed. They say our greatest glory in life is not never failing, but it's rising every time we fall, getting up and moving on. I'll give you 2 examples of people that failed that we all love and endure, or love and appreciate. Michael Jordan and Thomas Edison. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team, came back, became one of the greatest high school basketball players of all time, and McDonald's All-American. He was not the star of his college basketball team, but before he left, he was the player of the year and the most valuable player in the tournament. When he was drafted in the NBA, number 2, he was booed by some of the fans because they did not want him. But before he left Chicago, they won 6 NBA championships. He's arguably the greatest basketball player of all time, and there's a statue erected of him in front of the building in Chicago. Thomas Edison. They say Thomas Edison took him 10,000 times to create the light bulb that we use to light our homes. So that means 9,999 times he failed, but he kept pressing on and enduring. So when I say this, you have to be part of the change, and you can't be afraid to fail. And if you do that, you can accomplish get over any and every trial in life.
Hi, everyone. I'm Senator Tim Kennedy. I have the great privilege of representing the city of Buffalo, the city of Lackawanna, and the town of Cheektowaga, part of our Western New York community, in the New York State Legislature, in the New York State Senate, part of a body of 63 members from all across New York State, representing over 300,000 people at the moment. I've been in this position for just under 10 years. This is my 10th year in the Senate, and I take my job very seriously, fighting for funding and attention to issues that are important to the people of our community here in Western New York, making sure that our community not only has a seat at the table when decisions are being made both in Albany and down in Washington, D.C., but most importantly, that we are a priority when these decisions are made. So oftentimes, especially because of the density of the population here in New York State, there seems to be that downstate focus. We have to go in and sharpen our message, make sure that we have all the facts straight, and deliver a concise, defining, and deliberate message about ensuring that Western New Yorkers are not looked over. and that we are certainly a part of, and again, that priority in the conversations and the decisions that are being made, so that we can get funding for our schools, so we can get funding for our roads, so that we can get funding for our healthcare institutions and services that people rely on each and every day through the course of their lives. We especially look out for some of the most vulnerable in our community, those that have oftentimes historically been taken advantage of, like our elders and some that are homebound, individuals with disabilities, which sort of comes from the heart with me because I come from a healthcare background. I was born and raised in the city of Buffalo. I'm one of 5 children, 2 older sisters, 2 younger brothers. My parents are still alive and ticking. My mother is still working and teaching. She's actually a nurse. My father worked for the city of Buffalo for nearly 30 years and retired as commissioner of assessment. And my wife and I are raising our 3 children in the city of Buffalo, all going to Buffalo city schools. I want to thank our great district attorney, John Flynn, and our Buffalo Public Schools for partnering in getting this message out. I know this year has been like anything any of us have ever lived through, and my family is no different. We have been staying safe by staying at home, and that includes home teaching. My children, all having that Buffalo Public School education, have been getting the daily routine sent to them each and every day. Our community has taken part in the food drives that have helped to deliver food to all parts of the city of Buffalo and beyond, making sure that we have the essential nutrients during this pandemic. And as we finish up this school session, I bet many of you never thought how much you would miss school, miss your friends, miss getting out of the house, miss the action and really the changes that happen every day. And if there's any indication of this year and what it means to all of us, it's looking at ourselves and really how we can make a difference in the community. I got into politics and government and eventually became a New York State Senator by running for office to effectuate positive change, to make a difference, to be that difference maker, to make sure that our community is better off when I leave here than when I inherited the community, when we inherited the community from those that came before us. So that's my goal. My goal is to make Buffalo and Western New York continue to be the greatest place, not only in the state, but the nation, to live, work, and raise a family. And we, of course, have our struggles. We, of course, have our issues. But you know what? We got to fight through these issues. We got to fight through these struggles. We've got to come together and unify. We've got to make sure we're thinking about each other. We're being empathetic. We're thinking about how our words and our actions impact other people in life, in society, in our community. Not just the people we know, but the people that we don't know. The things that we say in social media, the things that we say publicly, the things we say to our friends and our close families. How do we think about the world? And you know what? We are all in this together. That is what this pandemic has taught us, that we are all impacted by every single action of one another worldwide. And so the world has become very small in this moment in history. And so it's a further reminder that everything that you're going through in school, all of that hard work you're doing, all of the struggles, all of the processes that you're working through, and as school is coming to an end and you're looking at the summer season and maybe the summer school session, you got to think about how fast time moves. And you're going into a next grade in the following year, maybe a new school. And you need to think about everything that you do each and every day as an investment in yourself, in your life, in your career, in the long term. Where do you want to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 5, 10 years from now, 20 years from now? These are things we all need to think about. And as we finish up this school season, I want to congratulate each and every one of you for sticking with it, for being a part of history, for being a part of flattening the curve as this horrific pandemic has unfortunately killed so many thousands of people, not just in New York State, but nationally and globally. So you are a part of a tremendous point in world history, and we need to continue to work together to get through this. Again, I am just honored to serve in the capacity as New York State Senator, and I look forward to seeing you all, hopefully back in school next year, but in the community, no question about it, hopefully sooner than later. Congratulations, and have a wonderful rest of the year.
Hello, my name is Tommy McLamb, Director of the Boys and Men of Color Initiative for Say Yes to Education Buffalo. As Director, my job is to strengthen and improve the lives and outcomes of young men of color in our community, helping them to uplift the potential that lives inside of them, helping them to see that they are not only the leaders of the future, but they are actually our leaders today, understanding that their voice really matters. I'm a resident of Buffalo. I grew up on the east side of Buffalo, New York, attended Buffalo Public Schools, raised 2 children who attended Buffalo Public Schools, and have decided to remain in my community to assist in raising passionate young leaders. As a young man, I really did not know exactly what I wanted to be, but I knew what I did not want to be. And so I strived to be successful at whatever I put my hands to, I put my head to, or put my heart on. I finally discovered what I enjoyed. I had a passion for seeing others succeed. And for the last 25 years, I've been in the youth development field, assisting specifically young people of color, but I believe that all young people should have the right to be successful. I would like today just to leave with you 7 words of wisdom that may help you on your journey. Number 1, take the time to discover who you are. Spend time asking yourself the hard questions and answer yourself. Number 2, find your passion. Ask yourself, what is that thing that you would get out of bed and do even if no one paid you? Number 3, develop an expertise around your passion. Get to know every bit of the area that you are interested in going in. And then number 4, educate yourself to the best of your ability around your passion. Number 5, give back to your community. It's important that what you have received from your community, that you give it up, you give it back to someone else. Number 6, live your life in a way that makes the world a better place. And finally, number 7, live as though God is watching you at all times. I hope these words of wisdom, they help you. And I hope as you take them in, that you will stay the course. Have a great day.
Greetings and peace be unto you. My name is Dr. Lebon Ansari, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Community Health Center of Buffalo and Niagara. We are a community health center that provides services in pediatrics, adult medicine, dental, family planning, and behavioral health. And we take you regardless of your ability to pay. I grew up in Queens, New York, and I attended New York public schools. And in my youth, I always wanted to be in education and in medicine. As a result, I went to school and I earned a PhD in sociology of education. I have a bachelor's degree in therapeutic recreation, and I have a social work degree and a master's. One of my favorite writers and role models is Dr. Maya Angelou. And Dr. Maya Angelou was this phenomenal woman that comes from very ordinary situations, but became an extraordinary human being, an extraordinary woman. And one of her quotes that I actually love is, she says, stand up straight and realize who you are, that you tower over your circumstances. You are a child of God, and stand up straight. As human beings, we are the best of creation. You have to see yourself as you would want yourself to be. You can do anything that you put your mind to. Fear is the absence of knowledge. Imagine and dream big. The way to your imagination is to read, read, read. Success in life depends on 4 things: building your faith, making good choices, learning from your experiences, respect yourself, and share with others. Be grateful, be happy, stay safe, and be healthy.
Hello everyone, my name is Kenneth Clone and I am the coordinator of the Education and Workforce Development Program at the Buffalo Urban League, also known as the YOLO program, which stands for You Only Live Once. And what we do at the Buffalo Urban League is that we serve individuals between the ages of 16 to 24 that have previously dropped out of Buffalo Public High School and are now pursuing a high school equivalency degree in addition to a successful pathway to a career and or vocational trade, etc. So the goal of the program is to help you gain a wonderful career through education. And education, let me stress, is the most important thing you can do to get ahead in life. For me, that's one of the things that really saved my life, and I'll get into that in a minute. I have been with the Buffalo Urban League for the past 8 years in many different capacities. My first role was working with individuals that were transitioning from state correctional facilities, and I did that for a period of time and then joined the YOLO program in 2015, and then the last 4 years I have been honored to be the coordinator and leader of that department. And so this position is super personal to me because as a young adult in this community, I was an individual that had to drop out of Buffalo Public High School for a number of reasons. And so I had to find a way how to go back to school, and that was pursuing my high school equivalency diploma. And at the age of 18, I was able to achieve that goal. And shortly after that, I really didn't value education like I should have, and I stopped there. And what I did was I tried to go to work, and then I was finding that many jobs were either entry level and weren't providing any advancement because I didn't take that second step to either go and pursue a higher degree or vocational trade, etc. So for me, I thought I knew it all as a young adult, and I made some bad decisions. And unfortunately, those decisions led me in a bad place for a very long time. And the only thing that allowed me to get to this point in my life was going back to school, getting educated, making sure that I took advantage of every opportunity, and believing in myself to know that if I really stayed motivated, if I put the work in, that I can get somewhere in life. And I did go back to school, and I was able to obtain a criminal justice degree. And I made up my mind and said, you know, I'm going to give back to the community. And I am just so proud and passionate about my job because it allows me to work with individuals that remind me of myself when I was a young adult. So I just want to let you guys know that for me, it saved my life. It can save your life. And let me just make a quick point. There's 3 categories that you usually land in if you don't have at least a high school equivalency diploma. Number 1 is usually at a dead-end job because you have a high school diploma or not have a high school diploma and there's no room for advancement. Number 2 is a victim of incarceration because if you don't have a good education, you usually find yourself doing illegal things to make money. And then number 3 is a victim of a homicide as a result of that lifestyle that you're living to try to make ends meet. So there's another pathway. There's more opportunity out here, more than ever. You can do what you want to do and just put your mind to it. Never give up. I'm also happy to share that I'm a successful business owner in addition to my role at the Urban League. I happen to own a barber shop that employs 5 individuals and provides a platform for them to provide a living wage to their families. And I also own a retail clothing store that sells a variety of things. So I just wanted to share some things that worked for me, which number 1 was education, number 2 is giving back to your community, and believing in yourself. Know that hard work does pay off. You will have to put in hard work, but never give up. Know that you only live once. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. So it should be really, really up to you to shoot for the stars and accomplish your goals. Thank you, and we'll see you guys soon.
Hello, my name is Dina Thompson, and I am Executive Director of Erie County Restorative Justice Coalition. I was born and raised in Buffalo, New York, and I am a Buffalo Public School graduate. It was through my education in Buffalo Public Schools that I learned that I could be a change maker in my community. Like now, there have been many inequities in our society that limit the way in which people can live, work, play, and thrive. But I always remembered a quote given to me by my 6th grade teacher. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. That's by James Baldwin. This quote, my faith, and the encouragement of my community members helped me to discover the idea of community justice, which is the work I do today. Our organization partners with many schools, courts, community organizations, and community members to offer proactive ways to engage and create a society where everyone has dignity and worth. Restorative practice is a social science that studies how to build and maintain healthy relationships through actions and dialogue. And within this continuum of engagement is restorative justice, which emphasizes the way in which we can collectively and collaboratively address crime, conflict, or challenging behavior. By bringing together the voices of victims, offenders, and community members, those most impacted by any incident, we offer ways to repair the harm done by providing preventative interventions, programs, or even resources to change behavior and strengthen bonds within the community. Oh, I love my work. So I encourage you, our youth and our change makers of tomorrow, to do the work you love and make the work you love your passion and your career. It's great to have dreams and it's great to have passions, but without a plan, they will remain just dreams and passions. So do one positive thing every day that brings you closer to your dream, and make that dream your reality so that you can create new dreams. Be a giver of your community and not a taker. Identify a mentor, role model, quote, or mantra, whatever it takes to motivate you and get you through the hard times. Know that you will make mistakes. Know that you will stumble, that you will fall, that you will fail. But success comes when we get up and we start again. So I leave you, change makers of tomorrow, our youth in which we trust, with our Bennett High School motto, which is Optima Futura, the best is yet to be. Thank you, and I wish you the best of everything.
My name is Sandy Green, and I'm a retired New York State Correction Officer. I am also a wife, a mother, a grandmother, a sister, a friend, cousin, acquaintance, yes. And all of these people that I speak of have impacted my life in some way or another. And they are appreciated because I've learned from them. As I said, I'm a retired New York State Correctional Officer. And having worked within the system for over a quarter of a century, I saw many things over the years. But what stood out to me more than anything was each year our population grew. And it grew with our youth of color. They became younger and younger, and the types of crimes they were committing were more violent. Things that you would never want to imagine for your child. And it's a sad thing. But what I want you to understand today is that laws are made to protect people. Everyone. The law does not and should not discriminate. Laws are made to protect people. If you commit a I said, our youth, our precious youth, need to stop and think about what's important to them. Think about what you want to do with your life in the future. Have a future, have a goal, have pride in yourself. Think, what do I want to do? Your job right now is to get an education. If you take care of your education, anything you want to accomplish in this world, you can. No one can ever take an education away from you. I say these things to you because I want you to understand that you are valuable. You are a natural resource. You are loved and you are important. What I say to you today, I have said to my own children, my two sons. In 2007, my oldest son, Stephen Barney Jr., 31 years of age, was coming out of a Waffle House restaurant in Atlanta, and he stepped on the foot of the individual. And that young man let his friends goad him, prod him into going to his car, taking out a gun, and shooting my child. He killed him. He died. He murdered him. And he was apprehended rather quickly. And the thing of it is that it was all because of an innocent stepping on someone's sneakers. Accidents happen in this world. We can't just go out there and do things on the fly and not think about it. Think before you act. In that same year, 2007, my 21-year-old son, Corey Duran Green, was murdered on Academy and Walden Avenue. I was devastated. I thought I would die, but I knew I had to go on because that's who I am. I could not let anyone take away my joy, who I am, my life. And even after that, I went back to work for several years, having lost my children to homicide. But it wasn't for me to go in there and try to make the law, break the law, take control of everything. I had to think. I took this job because I wanted to make a difference in our society. And I'm asking you, always think about what you're doing. Don't just jump out there and do anything. And hang around positive people. Look for the positive influences in your life. Think. Take care. Be safe. Be smart. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Hi, my name is Falesha Beard. I am the Director of Racial Equity Initiatives at the Community Foundation for Greater Buffalo. And I am honored to be able to provide words of inspiration and encouragement to our Buffalo Public School students. My position, which I mentioned, is the Senior Director for Racial Equity Initiatives at the Community Foundation, is one where I have the opportunity to work with our city leaders. As a matter of fact, over 250 of our city leaders representing faith organizations, nonprofit organizations, public institutions such as the Erie County District Attorney's Office. I get to work with DA John Flynn as well as the Deputy District Attorney Danielle Diabate, and also work with large non-for-profits. And our focus is on making our economy inclusive. What that means is we are building on-ramps and career pathways for communities of color to be a part of all of this economic development and renaissance that you see occurring in our city. Now to you, because you are Buffalo Public School students, you don't necessarily see a change or difference in our city. But I have been here for a while, and I can tell you that what you see before your eyes right now didn't necessarily exist years ago. We always had a great city, but now we have an even better city because there's more career opportunities and jobs for people, and just different areas that anyone could branch out into. And so I'm very fortunate to be able to work with those leaders to make sure that this does happen for everyone else. And my career path, or my road to get to where I am today, began with my graduation from Hutch Tech High School. That is my alma mater. After I graduated from Hutch Tech, I went on to the State University of New York, UB, to get my bachelor's degree, and then I thought that I was going to go to law school. I wanted to go to law school and be a lawyer ever since I was a little girl, but it's funny, I never made application. Interesting, right? How am I going to go if I don't apply? Well, turns out that I actually applied to another program, the Applied Public Affairs program at UB, and I ended up getting my master's degree in urban planning. So I am very happy and pleased that I did. I hadn't planned on it. I didn't expect to, but here I am. So what I would tell you with that is, do not stress or beat yourself up if you don't know exactly what you want to do, or what your career pathway is right now. Just follow your passion, because even though I didn't go to law school and become that lawyer, I'm still working in an area where I get to affect policy and legislation, and it's all the things that I have passion for. So, just make sure, I tell you, this is what you have to do, okay? Even though you don't know, or maybe you do know, just continue to study. Do your homework. Read as much as you can. Learn as much as you can. And one day your career will pick you just like mine's picked me, and I am very happy. So I just want to close by saying that I am very proud of you. I think that the Buffalo Public School students are the brightest in the region, in the state, and in the nation. I think you guys are so phenomenal and incredible, and you can do anything that you put your mind to. But just remember to follow your passion and your desires. I wish you well, and thank you for this opportunity.
Hi everybody, my name is Tom Dina. I am the Superintendent for the Jail Management Division of the Erie County Sheriff's Office. And I want to start by congratulating all of you on completing your school year under a very challenging and difficult set of circumstances. I can tell you from firsthand experience, being the father of 2 Buffalo Public School students, one of whom is graduating from high school this year, that having to do everything virtually through your phone or your computer, not being around your teachers and friends, is very stressful, very challenging. So once again, congratulations on successfully completing your school year. You should be very proud. So, Superintendent of the Jail Management Division, what does that mean? Essentially, I'm in charge of the jails in Erie County. I am responsible for the care and custody of over 500 inmates that are incarcerated in Erie County on a daily basis. And that's not just putting them behind a door. All of their needs are my responsibility. Education, medical, mental health. And what I feel is most important is engaging those that are incarcerated with the services that they need, so that when they get out of jail, they are able to successfully reintegrate into the community and hopefully not come back to jail. I like to say this is the one business where we do not want repeat customers. So the jail has to be looked at as that primary intercept to get folks the help that they need. Again, whether it's education, mental health treatment, substance abuse treatment, any type of service that they need in order to put them in a better position to succeed once they are released. With that being said, if I'm going to give you guys any advice, all I could say is, whatever career you choose to go into in the future, look for a way to make a positive impact. You can make a positive impact in somebody's life in any career you go into, even jail. I can tell you from personal experience, we've had folks that have come into this building, gotten the help that they need, engaged with the programming that they need, the services that they need, and they never come back again. Some of them are very successful people in the community right now. So never underestimate the power that you have to make a positive impact in everybody's life. That's one thing you take away from my couple minutes here. I really want you to take that away, because you can really make an impact. And not to sound corny, but you guys are our future. We're the old guard. We're yesterday. You guys are tomorrow. And we really need you folks to step up and make that positive impact. We're going through a heck of a time in this country right now. And it's really important that we all come together and we all, again, look for a way to make a difference, to make a positive impact. So once again, I want to wish you guys all congratulations on completing the school year. Everybody have a safe and enjoyable summer, and best of luck to you in the future. Thanks for having me.
Hello, graduating class of 2020. My name is Miguel. I am an on-air DJ and club DJ for KISS 98.5 right here in Buffalo. First of all, let me start off by saying congratulations on moving on to the next chapter of your life, graduating from the class of 2020, the most interesting class to ever graduate in high school history. Just throwing that out there. Don't know if it's statistically correct, but you guys have had a wild ride recently, and hopefully that change you use in the future, because nothing's guaranteed, nothing's set in stone. You were ready to go to prom, ready to go, graduate, and look what happened. A global pandemic switched all of that, and nothing's set in stone from this moment on. I got my start at KISS 98.5. I originally went to college to become a marketing, to go to school for marketing. I like the projects. I like coming up with the slogans, the logos, all that stuff. And then I had to get a summer job after my freshman year. You guys will know all about it, because Thursday and Saturday nights in college aren't cheap, but that's a different story. So I'm working at a coffee shop and I'm taking care of this elderly woman, and she tells me at the end of the transaction that I had a great voice for radio, and that changed my life. After my second year at college, I transferred back from home, from Ohio, back here to Buffalo, and I switched to a broadcasting career. Started off at promotions at KISS 98.5, handing out stickers at events. Got a break with Janet Snyder and Nicholas Pickles in the morning, and that turned on to an on-air career that I've been doing for multiple years now. And it's been great. DJing for them in the clubs, doing appearances, just following my passion for music that I've always had ever since I was a kid. But that gives you an idea of how things will go. You're going to go into college your freshman year thinking one way, that this is what you're going to want to do for the rest of your life. And it might not be that way. Plan A might not work out, plan B, plan C. And that's just how life goes. And you guys just have to be ready and prepared for changes and opportunities. You might love what you do once you get through college and move on, but it doesn't mean that another opportunity that comes along isn't better for you. And you just have to be willing to take chances. And that's all it is. You know, somebody might open one door, but there's not going to be somebody to open all the doors. You might have to kick in the door to get what you want. You might want to do one thing and your heart might want something else, and you're going to have to take chances to get that. And that's just, that's the future that you guys see coming. And with everything going on in the world right now, we need you guys to take those chances and to use your voice to make this world a better place. We're relying on you guys to go out there and make the changes that this world needs going forward for it to be a better place for the youth that are coming up. You've seen everything that's going on. It's right in front of you. I don't have to say anything. But you guys can be that change. You guys can go out there and leave your mark on this world. And just be confident in yourself and just follow your hearts. Like I said before, congratulations to the graduating class of 2020, and good luck. And look at the bright side. When they rewrite the history books, you guys are going to have the wildest chapter in that book that the future is going to learn about. I don't know if that's a good thing, but that's something that when you guys get older, you'll be able to tell that story. So congratulations, good luck, and leave your mark on this world and make it a better place for us, for you, and for the future. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Hello, my name is Leroy Johnson, and I'm an attorney here in Buffalo, New York. I want to talk to you a little bit about my journey here. I grew up in Buffalo, New York. I grew up in the Willard Park and Perry projects. I attended Buffalo Public Schools, Public School number 53. In addition to that, I went to East High School, Hutch Tech, and Lafayette. Quite a few high schools. And after that, I went off to Canisius College, graduated with honors, and also went to Georgetown Law. And I'm telling you that because I grew up in the projects, and some people think that that's a handicap. It's not a handicap, it's a strength, because some of the things that you learn in the projects are valuable, and it's a great experience, and I'm very proud that I grew up in the projects. When I was in school, I worked very hard to get to where I am now. I did a lot of studying, and I also worked hard in sports, and whatever I did, I tried to do the best that I could. I left nothing on the table, and I think that that's what you should do. Leave nothing on the table, have no regrets about what you did, because that's the key to success in life. You have to feel good about yourself, and you have to feel good and competent, because the main thing in life is you have to be prepared, and it's opportunity, preparation meets opportunity. And remember, I've traveled throughout the world. My passion is art, and I've had shows in almost every continent. I've had 4 world tours, and all of that for a young kid who grew up in the projects. And I want you to know, success is what you make of it. It's your decision to overcome any obstacles. And any obstacle that you have, either negative obstacle, you turn that into a positive. And you'll be a success in life. I wish you all the best, and you can sit here where I'm sitting one day and say the things that I'm saying to you to some of the young people who are coming up behind you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joanne, and I am the music director of the Buffalo Philharmonic. I think I have the best job in Buffalo, and I'm so glad that I moved here 20 years ago to become the music director of the Buffalo Philharmonic. I moved from New York City, and I'm very happy living here in Buffalo. And I'm very happy having the chance to work with this great orchestra. You know that our Buffalo Philharmonic is really acclaimed throughout the world. It's one of the best orchestras around. And it's a great team of people, too. Now, maybe you've never thought about an orchestra as a team, but we are, just like the Bills. We're a team in which everyone has to contribute 100% of what they do best. Everybody has a specialty. Whether you're the leading violinist sitting in the first chair, leading all of the strings, or you're the principal oboe playing beautiful melodies, or you're the trumpet who's heard all over the hall because of that great sound. Everyone has their thing, and they have to do it at the highest level, and then we become a team. That's really amazing when all these parts fit together and make something fantastic happen, like a piece of music that you can hear in Kleinhance Music Hall. And these members of the team, just like the Sabres or the Bills, are athletes. Now, I bet you never thought about that, but they are athletes, small muscle athletes. It's not like running across a field, but when you play the violin, when you play the clarinet, when you play any instrument, your small muscles have to be really trained to do everything you want. It's not easy. And they constantly practice hours and hours a day to keep those small muscles in place, whatever instrument they play, to keep them strong and facile so they can do anything, whether playing a very fast scale or holding a long note with their breath. If you're a wind player, You also have to work on the muscles of your face, and a brass player, the muscles of your lips, so you can be strong in playing your instrument. They have to stay in shape. It is really an athletic endeavor playing an instrument. So I always like to think about them like they're athletes. So we have this great team of athletes working together. And where do they come from? Well, when we have an opening, let's say we are looking for a new clarinetist or a new violist or a new violinist, we advertise internationally. We advertise all over the world. And people come to Buffalo from all over the world to take our audition. And the audition happens right in Kleinhans. And it's a very special kind of audition in which we pick the hardest things that have been written for their instrument. They know they have to play the hardest things, but we have them play without us seeing them. We sit behind a screen and maybe 100 people will come onto our stage playing the same very difficult passages in the music. We have to choose the best one, and we can't see them. That's very important. We have blind auditions because we want to choose the best person. We don't know if they're tall or short. We don't know what they look like. We don't know if they're a man or a woman. We don't know anything about them, except we pick by listening who is the very best of those 100 or 200 people. So when you come to the concert, you can be assured that you're hearing great musicians because they won that really tough audition. And they came from other places to live in Buffalo, and they love Buffalo. So what's the job of the conductor? Well, something very interesting about the conductor is that the conductor is the only one on stage who is not making a sound, not one note. In fact, I just use a little stick. I wave my stick at the orchestra, and they make the music happen. So what am I responsible for? Well, as the leader, I'm responsible for something very important. And all of you who are leaders now or will be leaders in other times of your life, you all understand this. I have to make it possible for them to be great. I have to establish an environment where excellence can flourish. I have to be sure to give them the opportunity to be the best musicians they can be. Now that's a big responsibility, but it's a very joyful one as well, because I can make it easier for them to be great musicians, and that's my job. A friend of mine once told me, oh, well, if you're the conductor, you must be on the top of the pyramid right there. And I said, oh, no, you're wrong, because the pyramid is turned upside down, and I'm on the bottom of the pyramid. Bottom of the pyramid. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that I have to support and empower all of the musicians. I have to lift them up. I have to make sure they feel comfortable and they can be the best musicians that they are. So that's a wonderful job to have. And any leader who can do that really makes a team great. So it's all about teamwork, as is lots of things in life. So I'm hoping that you will have the opportunity to come and hear us, because there's nothing more wonderful than sitting in Kleinhans, which is a great hall, having those 80 or even more musicians play music that comes right off the stage and lifts you out of your chair. It's so exciting. It's exciting for me to be in the middle of it. It's exciting for us to welcome you to Kleinhans Music Hall. So we hope that next season you'll come and be with us, and we hope you have a great summer. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Adriana Vivaret, also known as Adri V, the Go-Getter. I'm a radio personality here on Power 93.7 WBLK here in Buffalo, New York, in Albany on Hot 99.1, in Rochester on 103.9 WDKX, and on Dash Radio, which is an app called Taste Radio. So I'm a radio personality, and I got my start in radio when I was 16. I had the opportunity to intern at the very same station I work for, which is Power 93.7 WBLK. And I got that opportunity because I heard the commercial on the radio that said they were looking for interns. And at the end of the commercial, it said you had to be in college. And for a second, I was sick. Like, I'm not in college, I'm only 16, and I'm in high school. How am I going to make this happen? But because I was a part of a youth program at the time that gave me job readiness skills and job opportunities, I knew that if I submit my resume, just maybe I might get a chance. So I submitted my resume at 16, had a chance to sit down with the promotions director at the time, who later became my mentor, and she accepted me in. I drove my car to the radio station weekly. But before that opportunity was given to me, I had to negotiate with my principal in high school to convince her to allow me to put all of my study halls to the end of the day. By doing so, it allowed me to leave school early to get to my internship. So building great relationships with my teachers and my principal and our counselors was key as a student to make sure this opportunity happened for me. Within my role, I'm on the air daily, making sure that I'm talking about current events, local events, global events, and also ensuring that I entertain and educate, which I like to call edutainment, which is my go-to of all times. I've been given a responsibility that each and every time I crack the mic, that I have to make sure I deliver something of substance to my listeners. And that is something I always set out to do. In this industry, I have had the chance to cover red carpets from the BET Awards, MTV Awards, as well as the Grammys, and interview some of your favorite athletes and artists. By having such opportunities, it's very humbling to be able to hear the stories of these people and how they've overcome so many different obstacles to achieve their dreams. Some things that I had to overcome here in Buffalo is just growing up in an inner city and overcoming the basic things that they say that you are the environment. You are the product of your environment. I made up in my mind that that wasn't going to be me. So I went on to college. I graduated from McLamb High School, one of the best high schools there is. Went on to get my BA in communications and with a minor in media studies, certification in journalism, PR, as well as advertising. And while at the University of Buffalo, I had an amazing experience where I was extremely active on campus, participating in the student government as student association entertainment coordinator, in addition to being a general manager of our radio station, getting a die-hard experience of being able to run a radio station and also oversee the different disc jockeys, the DJs, the personalities that was there. While in college, I had the chance to intern at BET, CNN, and the great part about that was connecting with alumni who gave me my opportunity to actually go to CNN and live in New York City and learn so much and develop so many connections. Throughout college, I continued to actually intern at the very same radio station that I now work for. And upon graduating, I actually had a chance to get a job and been on air since 2009. Yes, I know I look young. I'm joking. But the greatest thing about that is I knew that education is the surest way out of poverty. Education is the surest way into greater opportunity. And I knew, in addition to experience, I had to be on top of my game. So I moved forward and I got my master's. I went to Medaille College and got my MBA with a concentration in marketing, because coming into the promotions department, that's exactly what I fell in love with. And then I had a chance to actually work and intern at New Era. I say all this to say that if there's anything that you want in this life, you have to go and get it. My friends gave me the name the Go-Getter. And this name came from the fact that anything that I wanted, I wrote it down, and I decided to attack it. I live by these 3 pillars called ask, seek, and knock. Those who ask shall receive, those who seek shall find, those who knock the door shall be open unto you. But it's a continual thing. Do not allow anyone to stop you from achieving your goals. If there's something you want, go after it. Someone tries to tell you no, figure out who's going to tell you yes. Seek after those people who's going to give you the advice that you need and the opportunity, and knock on the doors of those people who may have what you want on the other side. And if they don't answer, keep knocking. Make your knocks louder. And then at some point they don't open the door, figure out how to knock it down yourself or build your own. Because at the end of the day, stop at nothing to achieve your goal. Be a go-getter in all that you do.